Continued. Page number 101. It is not nice to annoy the neighbors like this, said Prabha to his partner in a kind manner when things had cooled down. They helped us with money while you were away. Oh, don't go on at me like that, roared Ganpat. You are ruining the business with this gift-giving habit. They must have charged you high interest on the money they lent you. But no one would give us money, Ganpat, without charging interest, reasoned Baba. You did not send any of the money which you collected. Perforce I had to borrow. As a matter of fact, the pro note has been due to be acknowledged days ago. Now tell me, how much money have you brought? Because we might settle this debt and the two other debts I have incurred with Devi Dayal and Ghansham Das, and start clear of obligations in the summer. I forgot to ask you what you had collected. About 50 rupees, murmured the goat-faced sullenly, bending his head down. 50 rupees? Exclaimed Prabha. But we were owed 700 to 2000. I can't help that, said the goat-faced cornered. I really collected about 300, but as I have not been paid my share of the profits for the last year, I have kept 250 for myself. That is different, said Prabha. You gave me a shock when you mentioned 50 rupees. There was a tense silence between the two men as they sat on the platform. I didn't think you would insult me like this, said Ganpat, in an attempt to bully his partner, but his face paled with the suggestion of guilt. Prabha looked up at him just as the goat-face was changing the awkward expression deliberately into a contortion of self-righteousness. Somehow, in a moment, Prabha had a sudden revulsion against Ganpat. The last look on his partner's face had broken something in him, as a word, a phrase, an act, a gesture can break the most. End of page 101, now page 102. Cherished the most stable and the most profound beliefs in men. He became conscious of his partner's selfishness. He realized what he had always ignored or forgotten, that his partner was not straight. He knew that Ganpat had something evil about him. He was through with him really, but he still felt friendly. He still felt a genuine goodwill towards him, and he was not going to let anything separate them. Listen, he said in an effortless voice. Lend the firm 200 rupees out of the 250 you have kept for yourself, so that you can be rid of some of the obligations we owe to these neighbors and to Devi Dayal, both of whom are difficult people to deal with. I will go to Lahore next week and collect the 500 we are owed there, and which you did not collect, and you shall have your money back. I haven't got it, answered the goat face, his face going very pale, for he had been lying to his partner, having in fact realized 800 rupees and having spent the best part of that money on a courtesan he knew in Lahore. I have spent my share of the money, he added in a panic, and you won't be able to get any more in Lahore because I did my best with the clients there and couldn't get much out of them. Prabha became suspicious now. Assuming the dignity of an elder brother whom he had always fancied himself to be, he said, Come and tell me all the details. Let us check up the accounts and see where we can get money to meet this. And he called Munnu. Oh Munnu, come and add up the sums which Master Ganpat dictates to you. Munnu, who had been eavesdropping throughout the conversation as he stirred the spices in a pickle pan, began to wash his hands as a preliminary to handling the account books. I shall not discuss accounts before these workmen, said Ganpat in a fury, and I shall not let that bastard touch the account books. You have spoiled him thoroughly. That boy is an orphan, said Prabha. Come, we should be kind to him for the sake of religion. We should try to train him to do accounts and things because he is too good for a coolie work. He is intelligent, and let us treat all these boys as one family. There is no harm in doing accounts before Munnu, and the others don't understand. End of page 102. Now page 100. That little wretch doesn't understand either, the goat-faced sneered. These schoolboys don't learn to apply mathematics, they only learn to do sums. Don't let him come anywhere near me or I shall kill him. Prabha kept silent and made towards the account books. Munnu stood waiting in suspense, not knowing whether to go near the platform. There was a panic in Ganpat's soul. He knew that his little game of lying and suppressing the truth about the accounts was played out. He tried, however, to distract his partner's attention from the money question. Why should that bastard be treated any better than the others? He is not treated any better, said Prabha softly, and began to unfold the account books. The hour of decision had come for Ganpat, but he still wanted to avert it. He raised all the trouble this afternoon, Ganpat said, by giving jam to that bitch. Don't fall to abusing people, said Prabha, a little sternly. You know I have had to apologize to those people for your rudeness already. I sent them the jam through this boy, so it is neither their fault nor his, and I did it because I wanted to be on good terms with them, as we have not acknowledged the pro-note. I don't believe in the pro-note method of raising capital, said the goat-face, driven from one stratagem to another. Stratagem. S-T-R-A-T-A-G-E-M. Stratagem. I'd much rather borrow money without making any promises, so that if I cannot pay it back, I am not committed in any way. It isn't the right thing to do in business, you know, to be dishonest, said Prabha. I don't care whether it is the right thing or not, said the goat face. If you don't give a receipt, no one can sue you for money. And don't you call me dishonest, or else I shall break your bones for you. He had made up his mind to force a quarrel on his partner. I didn't say you are dishonest, Ganpat assured Prabha. There is no reason to get heated. Cool down and we will talk all this over tomorrow. Ganpat knew that today or tomorrow he could not avert the break coming. Prabha's concessions infuriated him more than any violent reaction might have done. End of page 103. Now page 104. Yes, you have been insinuating that I am dishonest, he exclaimed, and you believe in all that woman accused me of this afternoon. Well, I don't mind telling you that I collected 800 rupees and I have spent all that money save 50. I met Amir Jan, who used to live in Daulatpur, but you need not think that I had no right to spend this money. Don't think that what I have told you gives you the power over me. I shall not have any bullying from you. I am not your slave and I shall not be blackmailed. Oh, but I am not blackmailing you, Ganpat, said Prabha, pale with anger now but torturing himself to be kind. It is all right. You are a young man and unmarried. Why shouldn't you have an occasional debauch? D-E-B-A-U-C-H, debauch. It doesn't matter about money being spent, and I am glad you have told me. We will try and raise loans somewhere to pay off these pro-notes, and then everything will be settled. You think you are going to suppress me with your meekness and humility, cried Ganpat, but you will not. I can see through this saintliness and mealy-mouthedness of yours. You think you are very good, don't you? Oh, don't talk like that, brother Ganpat, said Prabha, aroused for the first time. It isn't fair. You know that I have never said anything to you about your private affairs, because I myself might have done those things had I been in your circumstances. You can think whatever you like about me, but I have nothing to say about your conduct. I felt angry when you lied to me about the money you collected at Moga, and you remember I was very harsh with you, but I don't feel angry about anything like that now. You are a sly devil, you are a hypocrite, cried the goat face. Please don't wrong me, said Prabha. I am innocent of all you think. I am just a straightforward, blunt hillman. I have lived and worked hard throughout my life, and I don't think in town ways. I wish I was still a coolie and not in business. You innocent, sneered Ganpat. You combine business with your innocence well. You are artful and sly, as artful and sly as a rogue has ever wandered the hills. You sly hill dog. You can say what you like, said Prabha, in a desperate effort to lose all his pride and dignity in order to win the man back to an ordinary business connection and friendliness, though all trust between them he knew had been irrevocably lost. I am what I am, very sinful and wicked, in spite of my efforts to be good. End of page 104. Now page 105. I am through with you, shouted Ganpat, suddenly rising. You prig, you think you are mighty good, and that you will be a gooder if you feign badness. Oh, be sensible, cried Prabha, trying to catch hold of Ganpat to make him sit down. Don't you see we are partners? We have everything in our joint names. I shall dissolve the partnership, and I shall see that you grovel in the ditch for the insults that you have heaped on me this morning. You have destroyed me, betrayed me. You are a dirty coolie, and a dirty coolie you will remain all your life. He assembled the account books, putting them across his shoulder, went to put on his shoes to go. Oh, your shoe and my head, said Prabha, taking up one of Ganpat's shoes and handing it to him with desperate humility. Beat me on my head till I go bald, but don't leave me. We have been together 2 years and built up this business. It will be terrible for me to have to bear weights on my back as a coolie in my old age. I don't care if you go to the dogs, you meek, cunning bastard, said the goat-faced. Give me my shoe and go and eat dung and drink urine. Your father was a coolie and you are a coolie. I shouldn't have associated with you, you dirty swine. Go and be humble to those neighbors, worm that you are. Go, you cowardly swine. I won't disgrace my prestige and go down on my knees to anyone, least of all to a low coolie like you. Oh, abuse me as much as you like, said Prabha, but don't go. Cool down. It will be all right. Your anger will blow over. Get away, you cur, shouted the goat-face, rushing towards the door. Munnu, who had stood watching the tense quarrel with the fear of hell in his heart, rushed up and caught the label of Ganpat's tunic and pleaded, Oh master, don't go, don't go. This is not a good thing. Tulsi and Bonga and even Maharaja ran up with joined hands. Get out of my way, you swine, roared Ganpat, raising his hand in an hysterical temper and dropping it on the boys like a sledgehammer till they slid back to the platform, some frightened, some weeping. Horror, horror, moaned Prabha as he sat with his head in. End of page 105, now page 106, his hand. And then rising, he rushed to fetch Ganpat back, wailing, Oh, come back. Get away, you hill dog, shouted Ganpat, striking him on the face with his fist and wresting his body fiercely away from his grasp. Go to your coolies, you dirty coolie. Hi, wailed Prabha as he fell back. Shut up, you demented swine, you ignoble wretch, Ganpat shouted at a last speech as he turned round with one foot inside the door and one foot in. Stop howling, you dog, and don't follow me. I tell you, I have made up my mind. I am through with such scum as you. You are not my class. You are coolies and belong to the street, and there you shall go. I spit on you. And he spat and shot out. The goat face was as good as his word. He went and opened a pickle-making, essence-brewing factory of his own. The 50 rupees he had left of the money he had collected for the old firm was enough to rent a place and buy a few necessary articles. He obtained the raw materials on credit, and he set out to establish connections with Prabha's clients by posing as the maltreated partner of a business which was going to the dogs because of its owner's accumulation of large debts which would never be repaid. This malicious misinterpretation of facts soon defined itself into a rumor of Prabha's impending bankruptcy. And though really Prabha was a little bankrupt, a near bankruptcy, as any of the firms which have large stocks, the goodwill of the business was lost, and creditors flocked, panic-stricken, to the doors of the factory, knocking loudly and shouting vehemently, calling on Prabha to come out and settle his debts. "Oh, come out, Prabha," they said one after the other. "Come out and face us. Why have you retreated into your wife's womb? Come out and be a man." Unfortunately, Prabha had taken the departure of Ganpat very much to heart, and the fear of not being able to pay the debts at once had so upset him that he had succumbed to a fever. His employees in the factory were too afraid to open the door, and the creditors knocked more persistently and shouted more furiously. Come out and face us, you upstart of a hillman. Come out, you lover of your mother." The end of page number 106, now page number 107. Prabha lay at the far end of his room and could not hear, though his wife, who sat by his bedside, heard. She got up, but not wanting to face the crowd because of her natural and conventional modesty, looked into the factory and said to Tulsi, "Oh Tulsi, go and tell the Lalas that your master is ill and that he will see them tomorrow." "Go, Oye Munnu," said Tulsi, passing on the order as was his wont. "Go and say that the master is ill." Munnu climbed up into the living room, past Maharaj, who still drew cans of water from the well, and going to a large window which looked out into the gully, said, "Lalaji, Master Prabha is ill with fever. Could you please come tomorrow?" "Ill, did you say? Ill?" One of the creditors, a long-faced small man, clad in muscles, burst out. "I know he is ill. Of course he would be ill, with so much money on his conscience. But go and bring him, or we will come and drag him out, the illegally begotten." "Lalaji, he is really ill," Munnu repeated, joining his hands and assuming responsibilities. "Be kind and go away. Tomorrow he will himself come and see you." Go, you seducer of your daughter, go and get him," said a merchant with an enormous turban on his head, muslins on his pot belly, and gold-worked slippers on his feet. Munnu retreated. Lady Todarmal happened to be washing the floor of the kitchen on the top of her house, and she did not hear anything at first, or she would have come down instantly. But as she threw her dirty water on the gully from the terrace of her fourth story, she heard an uproar from below. "Oh, have you no shame, no consideration that you throw dirty water on us?" A chorus of men were shouting. "Look, you have ruined our clothes, mother." "Who are you?" asked Lady Todarmal apologetically. "How did you know? How did I know you were there? What do you want?" "We want this bankrupt Prabha," one of them said. Hi, knee horror, terror. May his face be blackened," she shouted. Hi, knee horror, terror. May his face be blackened," she shouted as she rushed down the stairs. "So he has gone bankrupt, has he?" She cried as she saw the other creditors. "Yes, he won't come out and face us," one of the creditors said. "Way, you eater of your masters," she cried. "Way, may you die. May a snake bite you. Why don't you come out and face us now?" End of page number 107. Now page number 108. "Where are you hidden? Come, give me back my husband's 500 rupees first. Then people can have your tins of pickles." What shall we do? What shall we do for our money? So he even owes you 500 rupees, said the long-faced small man. Yes, this dead one. He came being humble and played on my husband's good nature, and we let him have the money in spite of the fact that the smoke of his factory has ruined our house. And then she switched the current of her electric tongue onto Prabha's house again. Come, Way, open the door. Where have you absconded now? Where are you? May the vessel of your life never float in a sea of existence. There was no answer, only the soft sound of someone weeping could be heard. It was Prabha's wife and Munnu sobbing as they embraced each other by the bed where Prabha was sleeping. We must go and fetch the police, the long-faced merchant said. Wait, said Lady Todarmal, my son has not become a Thanedar for nothing. He is upstairs, I'll call him. And she rushed upstairs. Prabha had been awakened by the sound of his wife's sobs. What is it? The creditors are shouting outside. Munnu said with an effort, they want you. He got up at once and came to the window overlooking the gully. He was pale and his limbs shivered slightly. He joined his hands to the creditors and was going to speak to them when they burst out. Oh, there he is, the illegally begotten. There is the rogue, the scoundrel. Come down, you son of a dog. Come and pay our money. Oh, please forgive me, Lalaji. I will pay every one of you. I will pay every penny that I owe you, even though I may die doing so. But please don't abuse me. Come down, you son of a pig, they shouted together. Come down and talk to us. Why don't you come and face us? We have been shouting for you. I was ill, Prabha said, with his hands still joined, and I was lying down. I didn't hear you. You didn't hear us, you bastard, and you have been shouting ourselves hoarse. End of page number 108. Now page number 109. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he now? Said Lady Todarmal, descending with lightning speed. Where are you, Oye? Come down, you son of a bitch, shouted Ramnath, her son, as he followed her, stiff-necked and swaggering with the pride of the important position he had acquired through his father's influence. He was dressed in a khaki uniform with black belt, pistols and whistle complete. Oh, forgive me, Thanedar Sahib, said Prabha, trembling with fear. Come down, you illegally begotten, or I shall skin you alive, shouted the Thanedar. All right, Thanedarji, all right, said Prabha. But he hesitated to decide whether he should explain to all these people how he had been let down by his partner. You won't come down, shouted Thanedar. All right, I will go and fetch constables. Forgive me, oh forgive me, Prabha wailed. I am only a humble workman, a coolie. I didn't know that Ganpat would go away and leave me like this. Now you know your true status, said the pot-bellied Lala. You tried to be a big saint, didn't you? Let us get him out and lock up the factory, said the long-faced small merchant. We can perhaps recover our money by selling the stock. I have the first right, said Lady Todarmal. I have suffered from smoke of this stone coal fires all these years. I will see to it that he pays my husband's debt first. Come, Prabdayal, pay up the rent for the factory and living room which you have occupied, said a prim monkey-faced man, the shining white of his eyes exaggerating the coal black on his face as he walked up, dressed in an open collar shirt, alpaca jacket with cotton trousers, a Christie cap on his forehead and five black boots on his legs. Make way for Babu Devdutt, said a woman in the crowd of men women and urchins congregating at the mouth of the gully. I will pay up, Babuji, Prabha said. I will pay you the rent even if I have to die struggling to do it. What word? Your word is of no value. You are a bankrupt. Beginning of page number 110. Wait, Babuji, you will have your money. Prabha darted in to get a few of his wife's trinkets to offer in lieu of rent to the landlord. Just then, a Sikh and a Mohammedan policeman, uniformed in khaki tunics and shorts, red and blue turbans, flourished their batons at the crowd and made them enter the English inspector, make way for the English inspector of police and Sir Chodalmal's son, the sub-inspector of police, who were walking up with great pomp and show.